Hi, I'm B. Welcome back to episode 18 of Wreck This Journal. If you've been following along, then you know I'm using this book for art prompts and experimentation. Okay, before anybody complains, I want you to know that I know it's been 6 months since I last put out a video, and then suddenly I'm putting out 2 videos in one day, and everyone's probably like, what is going on? Anybody who has been waiting is probably like, what is going on? But episode 17 was just a quick flip through of this book, of course. And I just went through all of the pages that I had completed so far. I didn't do any commentary except for reading each one of the titles. For this episode, I'm going to do commentary on every page after this one because this is the last episode that I did a full episode of commentary on. But I kept working in the journal because it's fun and it does not take as much work to edit a short than it does a full-length video. So for this video, I'm going to go through all of these pages and just kind of give you a commentary of what I did, why I did it, the things I chose, kind of like a normal video, but a little bit briefer for each page since I'm going through 25-ish pages, 30 pages. So, here we go. The first page that we're going to talk about today are pages 76 and 77, collect fruit stickers here. Obviously, I could have collected them off of, the fruit, or I could have gotten actual stickers that looked like these, But what I decided to do is if I were to have like an Etsy account that was, stickers, what would my fruit stickers look like? And so I designed those, I created those. I cut them out, and then I was going to do the thing where you stick it on a piece of, like you put a piece of tape on wax paper, and then you put these on top of it, and then you put more tape on it, and then you just cut around so it has edging of the tape, and then that just kind of keeps it together. And now you have a sticker, like a homemade sticker, basically. I was going to do something like that, but then I was like, what's the point since it's just going to be in the book? So I decided just to glue them in. The background I first chose was a pink background, but I did not like that. I didn't think it looked very good with all the stickers, so then I went over it with the gray. And I think I like that a lot better. Even with a pink background, it kind of makes it a warmer gray. And I think that works out really well for this. All of these are very cute. I did have extras because I made way too many, and I put them in here in the pocket. So that way I do still have them if I ever want to look at them when I'm going through the book or whatever. The next page, I'm not going to say the page numbers going forward. The next page that we're working on is cover this page using only office supplies. When I first started brainstorming about this page, I thought, office supplies. I thought sticky notes, and I wanted to make like a sticky note or like a collage out of the different colors of sticky notes that I have. So when I went to go find all of the sticky notes that I had, I found a huge collection of these tabs that I used to use for my college textbooks, and these tabs are phenomenal for college textbooks. But I did have quite a few left over, so I ended up just using them in a rainbow pattern, and I really like that I can like that it's tactile. All of my favorite pages have some sort of texture to them. But after I did that, then I took some note cards and I just drew some hearts behind it because I didn't want it to just be like a plain thing. So now you can kind of see the hearts and the design a little bit behind it. After I had finished the hearts, I figured I realized I probably should have done something office related, like drawn a bunch of paper clips or, just office related type things. But whatever, it's fine. And the hearts are simple enough, and it's cute and tactile, and I like it. All right, the next one, bring this book in the shower with you. Obviously, the options for this one include bringing a page into the shower with me. I could have brought the whole book into the shower. I could have drawn something and then brought just that drawing into the shower. I decided, though, that I wanted to draw someone in the shower, and I wanted to make a shower curtain. And it took me a while to figure out how to do this, but what this is a paper clip that I straightened out. And it's glued in with hot glue. And then this is a soda bottle wrapper. This is from a one-time use bottle. And I just took some of the wrapping and I actually lit a fire on the paper clip so it would be hot. And then that kind of just melted the holes for the plastic so I could just kind of slide it through. The big thing with that is that you want to make sure those over the paper clip, then under, then over, then under. It's kind of like sewing, basically. And yeah, and then this way I can pull it this way and be like, oh, look, where I can pull it this way. And it's really fun and interactive. And like I said earlier, that's kind of my favorite thing. So this page, tie a string to the journal, go for a walk, drag it. I did consider putting a actual string to the journal, but since I am not binding it yet, I figure I'll add a string once it's bound. I'm not going to do that right now. This part right here drives me insane. I'm going to cover it with black paint because I just don't like it at all. The whole drag it thing made me think of a dog dragging a human. Like, I think it was that week that I was working on this. There was this little kid and he was walking this huge dog. And, obviously the dog was dragging him behind it. And it was so cute. And the kid looked like he was basically flying. Like, obviously there was like every third step of the dog, the kid like put one foot down because he was just like jumping in between each as the dog like ran down the hill. And it was really funny. And then I was like, I love that, but I already have a dog. And I was like, what could somebody have as a pet that could drag them somewhere? And then I was like, a raccoon. And then I was like, that would be so funny to have a raccoon, but then have it like run up a tree. And so that is how it was. So that's how I decided that. And I thought it was so funny. This part right here, like all of the streaking and stuff was supposed to be like, so that way, they're going quickly, they're going fast. I didn't add any like streaking lines behind them, to also add in the fast or the, to show the movement or whatever. So I really should have done something like that. But, either way, I'm a fan of this page, just not this one. So next time I do this, when I go over the entire book, when it's completed, this one's likely to be painted black. The next page that I'm working on, or the next page that I completed was Rub Here with Dirt. This happened the week of Halloween, or close to it, at least the month of Halloween. This was kind of a page, I guess this was a page where I was like, I want to draw something Halloween themed, something very spooky, something very whatever. And then I just try to figure out a way to make that work. And so I did think of a few different things like a genie in a bottle or things like that. But I decided on this. I think it turned out pretty good. I think my anatomy drawing class would be relatively okay. I didn't count the vertebrae or the ribs or, some of the things. So I probably would have been docked points, honestly, because there's some things that are not quite right. Like the number of bones right here are not quite right, or the shape of them, things like that. But, whatever, good enough. Use this as a test page for pens, paints, markers, and art supplies. So this one, I just took all of my zebra highlighters, my Boss highlighters, and my Sharpie highlighters, and I gave them a shape, and I used that to kind of put them down. And then I put the color that they are around it. So it's kind of like a swatch page, but with a little bit more zhuzh, a little bit more spice, a little bit more, pizzazz, I guess. But it turned out pretty cute. I gave them all little cute faces and stuff, so it's okay for a test page. If I were to do this book again, would I do it differently? Probably. I probably would have taken my watercolors and done something as a test page with watercolors, just like blending them or something like that. But I knew when I saw this page it was going to be a test page for actual materials. I wasn't going to make it anything fancy. Drip something here. Ink, paint, tea, close the book, make a print. For this one, I definitely thought of that Rorsch test, or that test they do in like the 90s therapy sessions or whatever that everyone's decided is bunk now and doesn't actually mean anything. And so, but they are fun to look at, and it's fun to be like, oh, what do you see? Personally, I see a panda and he's lifting weights or she's lifting weights, right? So that's what I see. I see a panda lifting weights in this. If you see something different, I'd be interested to find out, because I think that's the fun part about these. I could do these all day. Like, I honestly could do a sketchbook of just these, just so I could be like, when friends come over, be like, what do you see here? But anyway, It was fun. It was very simple. Like this page, like I painted it white just so it would have a very good background. I watered down some acrylic black paint until it was the consistency of ink, dripped it on one side, closed the book, opened it back up, let it dry. Super, super simple. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy to do, but still a very fun page nonetheless. So this page, unlike the previous page, this one took a lot of work. First, I went on my online drawing tools, like on the computer. There's like a normal pen, and then there's the pen where it's just straight lines, right? And so I used the straight line pen, so that way I could only make straight lines. And then I drew designs. So first I drew this one, I believe, and then I went back and drew this one. My husband thinks I should have done fire and ice and made this into like a snowflake or an icicle or whatever. But I wanted a rainbow in here, so whatever. It's a fire and a prism. So yeah. So I think it's really cute. The hands are obviously, I wanted them to be like a little bit magical, a little bit like, ooh, look, this is what this magical person can do. This one can hold fire and this one can shoot rainbows out of their hands. So it turned out really well. If somebody wanted to replicate this or do this themselves, again, you just want to use that straight line, because then you take a hammer and nails and stick it on like some cardboard, but you want to punch holes in the paper with it, right? With the design, and then sew through that. And then this paper is cardstock paper, so it's thicker. And I just put the design paper, I taped it onto the cardstock and then just hammered through both of them. And then I took some tweezers, I think, and like picked them out and like removed it so that way I could do the design. I think it really looks really cool. It took a lot of time. This one took, because the designing of each one, making sure that the lines look good, even though they were straight, etc., etc. I think it turned out really well though, especially like the fire with straight lines. I think that looks awesome. Now this page, glue a random page from a newspaper here. I did consider going out and buying like the New York Times or the Washington Post or one of the national newspapers, but I did not. And I didn't want anybody to know exactly where I was located. And so I ended up just cutting up a bunch of different things and gluing it down. So that way you can't really tell what the stories are or anything like that. It's mostly from like story sections and things like that. So it's fine. It's just like ripped up pages, and then I glued them down, painted over the top of them so you could read them even less, and then just decided to do a design. The sun and the moon. I was kind of going through a phase of sun and moon stuff at the time I made this, and the golds accents. I was doing a lot of that on things. But I really like it. My friend had her birthday recently, and I still did a sun and moon design with gold accents. So I guess it's not quite out of my system. The little kitty, I think, makes it like Kitty's catching a star. But either way, it's not my favorite page, but it's not my least favorite. It's okay. It's good enough. A place for your grocery list. Now for this one, obviously, there's so many different ways you could do it. First, I was thinking like the obvious, making a list and then just like drawing a few of the items on the list, like around the list as if I had doodled it. And then I was like, well, what other ways can groceries be done artistically? And then I was thinking about those really cool recipe cards that some people make. Then I thought of the idea of doing like a fruit animal thing. Like it's been overdone a million times, but I started deciding, like I made a list of all of the different animal fruit combos. So I have tiger melon, which is obviously a tiger plus watermelon. Strawberry, which is obviously a strawberry plus a bear. Dragon fruit, which is a dragon plus dragon fruit. Iguanana, which is an iguana plus banana. Seal reel, which is a seal plus cereal. Pepperino, which is pepperoni plus a puppy. Hopcorn, which is either a bunny plus popcorn or a bunny plus regular corn. And then this one was blueberry, which is obviously blueberries plus a bear. So yeah, I obviously picked these three. So we've got dragon fruit, tiger melon, and strawberry. And I just used watercolor on these, but I thought it was really cute design. I'm really proud of how my tiger came out, because I have drawn tigers in the past, not on this channel, but like in my sketchbook. They did not turn out very well. Anyway, I looked at a bunch of tigers to figure out the difference. And I think this one turned out really, really cute. So, yay, cheers for that. The next page, collect the stamps off of all of your mail. This one, I don't know if you can tell, but if you look at all of these stamps, these are as if, I decided to do it as if each one of these pages decided to send me mail and what kind of stamp they would have picked, right? So this one is this one because of her bracelet, right? That one is this one, the jellyfish. RIP, that's the skeleton. That one is the number every page one, which is before this. Yep, this one. So it's that bear again. And so each one of these is associated to a different page. I thought they turned out really cool. The thing that made it really good was the crinkle cut scissors, so I didn't have to painstakingly cut crinkles in all of the edges. That made it so much easier. But otherwise, I really love this page. I really love the idea behind it. Using actual stamps, in America, there are forever stamps, and they're almost always flags, and they almost always look the same, and most people get those. So I didn't want a bunch of just like American flags on this. I thought that would be incredibly boring and not good at all. So that's why I decided to create my own, and I think they turned out so, so cute. This one, trace the things in your bag or pockets, let the lines overlap. What I did is I took the bag that I used. My husband and I, we play D&D together, and so I have a bag specifically for that with like a D&D notebook and some pens and some gum. And if you look at this footage here, you will see like there's just a bunch of random things in there, as well as like the dice and things like that. I did only empty out one thing of dice and not both of them. But anyway, and then I decided just to paint the outside black just to make it a little bit more contrasting, a little bit more visually stimulating. And I thought that turned out really, really well. This next page, cover this page with white things. I really wanted to add some form of acrylic sheet here. And I thought this was perfect because what is more white than snow? So I decided to add snowflakes, and that way I could flip back and forth between it, and I thought that was really cool. I also really, really wanted to make some sort of globe and have like a swirl of like glitter or something in there, but I found a pack of snow, and I was like, we can make a snow globe. And so I got started on that. And then I decided to do a cute little bear character on this side who's catching a piece of snow. The bear turned out super duper cute. I'm very proud of that design because it's just adorable. For this side though, if you want like kind of how I did it, is I just took a page with watercolor, right? And then I cut out a circle, and then I glued that page down, and then I had to color around it because obviously there's going to be a little bit of because you raise it up, right? So that way the glitter can move around inside of it. What it is you take hot glue and you just kind of build it up around it. I did one, I let that dry, I did another one, and while it was still hot, I put the pages together. And then I was able to, and I just had like a set amount of glitter already inside in the middle. And then once that dried, then I was able to shake it around and get it kind of, so it was kind of falling wherever. But yeah, anytime I wanted to, I could just shake it. And then the glitter moves, or the snow, I guess, the fake snow, moves around. And it's very, very cute. I think I like the page. I like the fact that this is interactive. I like that this is interactive. And he's really cute. This is probably one of my favorite pages. Scribble wildly, only using borrowed pens. Now, I don't know if you remember, but we did do a different Scribble wildly. Yep, there we go. Wildly, violently, with reckless abandon, and that was like little kids. And I had done a big brainstorm with this one. And so I had a bunch of different reasons why people would scribble. And I decided I already did that here. I wanted to do something a little bit better on this one. And so for this one, I decided that whatever I did, I was just going to take the borrowed pens. So I had these pens that I don't ever use for art. They're for like office type stuff. So I do still use them. I just don't use them for my art. So they were borrowed from office supplies as opposed to from my art supplies, if that makes sense. So that's where they were borrowed from. And I decided I would just try to use those colors, and so that's why everything's pink and purple. Pink, purple, and green, and then this is just like a random Bic pen. I really like how the pink and purple scribbles went on here, especially like on this girl's shirt. I think that looks like a very cool design aesthetic. I mean, the goats could have been better, but I still thought they were cute. Like this one, obviously, goat yoga. Is it goat yoga if a goat doesn't end up on your back? No. And then, is it goat yoga if a goat doesn't try to eat some of your clothes? No. So both of those things had to be included, but I thought it turned out pretty cute. So yeah, I like this page. Make a sudden, destructive, unpredictable movement with the journal. I know pretty much everyone either rips this page or lights it on fire. So I am definitely not original in regards to that. But can you really blame me if you can play with fire? Aren't you like, I don't know. I'm gonna play with fire if that's if that's a choice. I'm gonna do that. So yeah, so I burnt this. Originally I was trying to make this be a hole, but when I lit it on fire, I had the page up like this, and it, the flame went up this way because that's what they do. And I wasn't thinking of that. And so then this whole part was burnt. And I was like, dang it. What I should have done is I should have held the journal out like this. So like both sides held it back and then held that over a flame, like over a candle. So this part could have been burnt out and that would have been more towards my vision. Because originally I was going to have a hole here. And then on the back side where it says make a mess, clean it up, I was going to draw like little construction workers that were like bringing over pieces of paper to like cover up the hole that was made. And I thought that would be really, really cute, but I ended up not doing that because this did not go the way I had planned. So, that happens when you play with fire. So you just kind of embrace it. It did end up looking kind of like a paw, and then that made me think of a lion, and I was like, I could make a lion. The idea of this is that it's supposed to look like the lion is part of the flames, like here's the fire, and then this is the lion that is also part of the fire, if that makes sense. So it's not supposed to be a lion standing in flames, it's supposed to be a lion made of flames, if that makes sense. I don't know if I captured that well enough. I definitely think the eyes need work. I definitely think it's a little creepy. It's not my favorite drawing ever of a lion that I have ever done, but whatever. Good enough. And I mean, this page was already a disappointment anyway for this not being what I wanted, so whatever. It is what it is. It gave something to this page. It added an animal, and it does have the paw print here, so it's fine. I ended up painting the background black because I thought the white on the brown just did not look quite, it just didn't look very good in my opinion. I thought the black made it look a lot better. So that's why I ended up doing that. And then I put a page behind here so that way I could make doodles here and then not have to forfeit that on this page, since my little construction worker covering up the whole thing wasn't going to work anymore. So on this page, like I said, I had glued a page on it so that way I could do these little doodles inside the flame holes. But I ended up painting both of these black. It's way easier to make something messy after it has been made neat than it is to take in something like this and then be like, okay, now let's make a design from that, right? So I decided to do like a feather or a leaf or whatever you want to call these. Usually these are done for macrame. I've seen a lot of them in home decor. I didn't stiffen up the edges because I like to play with things because I like the texture, I like the tactileness, and the part that I did glue down, it's very rough, it's very stiff, and I still wanted the softness behind it. So I made this first, and then when I was trimming the edges, I just put a bunch of glue on this side and then just kind of tossed it on here. And so it would make this mess. And honestly, I love it because it's so much fun, like touching either side. It's so, like, this side's so soft and the side is like crispy because of all the extra glue. It's a lot of textures. I'm a big fan. To do this, you just take one bit of string, however long you want it to be, plus whatever you want the stem or end to be, or hanging piece, or whatever you want to call it. And then you take your embroidery and you basically just do a loop and tuck it under. Like, here's the stem, you're going to make a loop, you're going to pull the two ends from the back end of the loop around, pull them through this loop, and then that's going to tighten it onto this well enough that when you glue it down, it's just going to hold and it's going to be fine. So it's a very simple process, but it's a lot. Like this was 100, I think, embroidery loops that I had to do that quick twist to. So yeah, but it was fun. I really like how it turned out. I like the textures. I like how bold this looks on the black. Even though it's 2 pages that have like the black background back to back, I still think that they're different enough and distinct enough that they work out and it looks so cool. So yeah. This page, the cover, title page, copyright page, all of that. If you saw the other book, I did explain this, but basically when I rebind it, so this page is glued to the cover, right? So these two are going to come off when I rebuff the cover. This page is left behind. And when you bind books, you glue something to this page. It's usually just a strip, but I think I'm just going to glue the whole page. And then you glue that. It's like a folded page, so you glue half of it to this and then half of it to whatever the cover is going to be. Let's say this was going to be the cover page, or whatever. So like here you can see like this page is one simple page. Half of it got glued here, and then the other got glued to this page by, like, it's not a lot, but I'm just going to glue both of those pages together. So instead of having like this weird thing, it's just going to be glued entirely together. So I did not do this one or these 2 pages because of that. And then I probably won't end up doing this page. And honestly, this one looks like it's going to get ripped up, which says trace your toes. So I might not even do this prompt because this page is probably going to get glued right onto whatever the back page is going to be. But we'll see when we get there. So there we are. That's it. That's a wrap as far as Wreck This Journal goes for the first half and the commentary. I will no longer be making weekly videos if that wasn't super obvious, because it's a lot of editing, to be quite frank. It's a lot of editing. I'm not very skilled. I'm using free equipment, like free software, and I don't get paid, obviously, to do this channel. And the free software, you can create really cool things, but it requires more steps. If you want to do certain transitions, if you want to do certain things, sometimes it requires, 10 steps versus the 1. If you had like a professional equipment, that makes it a lot easier. There are other things like right now I'm recording in a new audio system that is also free. I was using a different program to record audio, but I had to manually edit out every breath I took, every cough I made, every I said. I had to manually edit out all of that. And like just the audio alone would take 8 hours minimum, sometimes 16 hours. And it was just insane for a 10-minute video, or not even. Like I think most of my videos were like 5 to 7 minutes. And to take 16 hours to create 7 minutes, yeah, it's a lot of work. If you have favorite YouTubers out there, just be thankful that they're doing the work that they're doing, because it's a lot of work. It's not just all fun and games. So I'm going to keep doing the shorts. I'm going to keep putting the shorts up as I continue making the book. And then once I finish this half, I'll probably do another video like this one and episode 17, where I just kind of read over everything for the second half. And then I may do a video where it has collectively everything, just flipping through the book. I may make a video specifically for the cover binding, just because I think that's super interesting. But otherwise, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, until next time, catch y'all later. Bye. If you want to please the Pandaverse, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.